Roll for Funny podcast. I'm Alicia, and I got tricked by a man, and now I'm marrying him.
I'm that man. My name is Eric. But also, you do that, it goes whoosh and nothing happens.
What?
The goblets from last night.
Oh.
It goes whoosh and nothing happens.
Whoosh. And then nothing happens.
So inside of a joke that we didn't even get it.
Hi, I'm Ryan, and I like Creed despite what everyone thinks.
Ew.
What?
Okay, actually, Creed's not that bad.
I quit the podcast.
I didn't say Nickelback.
Nickelback's not
okay,
that
but
bad.
I love Nickelback. You guys.
Well, there we go. There's the first one.
You're welcome.
5 seconds in.
Put it on, wide open.
Can I do my intro now?
No.
Creed?
This-
Hi, my name is Grayson, and I make D&D puzzles that no one can solve.
Or likes.
Whoosh, and then nothing happens.
Whoosh, and then nothing happens.
Because we're dumb.
No.
Yeah.
I'm not smart.
Just a little slow.
I'm still mad that I used 190 gold.
We needed all of
191.
that.
191 gold on that stupid puzzle.
We needed all of it. It's only because of you that we solved it.
You needed 400 gold total, though, so he contributed almost half.
I'm still mad.
I
My
only
character's
had
mad.
50.
My character's very upset.
Hey guys, how about we roll for funny before we get too far into the giggles?
I got a 7.
9.
6.
17.
Oh, it's Alicia
Cast.
Wow. I never roll good for these. I don't think I've rolled good a single time we've done this.
Which is funny because when you're
Yeah.
actually playing with those dice, they roll great.
Yes.
Yeah, you generally roll really well.
My dice, when we're actually playing, roll really
What's
good.
funny because I was joking yesterday, I only roll well when I roll initiative. Everything else is
I know.
ass.
Except
Alicia
for-
started every battle last night. Mm-hmm. Every single one.
Except for when I told you, because you forgot to use advantage and you rolled a nat 20.
Yeah, that was such a fun moment.
No, it wasn't. I don't like it when he's right.
I know. I know you don't.
I don't like it.
I don't like it. I don't want it.
Speaking of that theme, today's theme for the podcast is weird crushes that we may have had in life, and then some relationship advice because we're all in some pretty healthy long-term relationships in here.
Yeah.
And I think we probably have some sound old person millennial advice to give out to people.
Except for
yeah.
us.
Sound
We're just
old
friends.
person, millennial.
Yeah, we're just
Y'all
friends.
feel free to comment too. We can try to respond with some advice if anybody has questions or anything.
Mm-hmm.
I was about to say something and I lost my
Just dear
darn
Abby.
train of thought. It chugga choo chewed on out of here.
Wow.
Train's still going, but conductor's not on board.
I rode a train last week.
Yeah, that was fun.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
In Pennsylvania town.
Yeah.
What
in
was
the
the name of the place?
Poconos. Jim
Poconos.
Thorpe.
Jim Thorpe.
Yeah.
That was
with
cool.
Thorpe.
It was a historic train ride through the
When you
leaf country.
when you said you rode a train last week, my brain was like a train.
Yeah, like a
I don't-
train. Like a.
My thought was, I want to fly the train.
Like the Polar Express, like a train.
Did they drift the train?
No.
Like in the Polar Express.
I had to show you that video.
Which video?
The one of who swapped the audio of that scene during that movie when he's drifting the train.
I look like a fucking
Dumb.
Harry Potter character today.
You do, actually. You look very academia today.
Except for my leopard print pants.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, a little fashionista academia.
Yeah. Should be one of my last days in business casual for a while because I'm quitting my job.
Enjoy that.
I'm excited.
Truly. Come join us on the Sweatpants Gang.
I know. I hate slacks. These are pretty comfy because they're stretchy, but I hate dress clothes.
I actually wore the same jeggings at my corporate job that I wear now at my current job
That's so nice.
because I didn't give a shit.
Hasn't washed them once.
Nope.
You never know.
What's the smell? It's Alicia.
And that's why everybody remembers me wherever I go.
I'm still sitting in my pee pants.
Okay, maybe not that bad.
What is that from?
Talladega Nights.
Oh yeah, and I'm still sitting in my pee-pee pants.
So, does anybody want to tell me a weird crush that they had growing up?
You already know mine, so mine's not weird to say out loud. It's Fran Drescher.
The nanny.
Oh, Mr. Sheffield.
Jesus Christ.
He talked about it all the time when we first got together. He like was really into her.
Yeah.
I don't.
What is it about her?
No idea. Just watch
The body, like, cause she's good looking.
Well, I
but-
just watched the show as like that weird transitional period of
Where you're like,
age
"Huh,
where you're like
she's a little
10
tingly."
to 12 years old and you're like, and then you hit about 13 and you're like, I know what it is.
Oh man.
Oh well, Grayson, you got one?
Yeah, my first like actual crush, funny enough, was a cartoon character, and it was Peter Pan.
You know what? Age appropriate.
Yeah.
Like I'm kind of down for that.
Yeah, he was like, I always like just fantasized about being Wendy.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah.
It just makes me think of like you've seen Paint's like happily ever after videos on YouTube.
Don't think so.
Okay, I'll have to show you to them after, but he does one of Peter Pan, and they're like basically like the darker interpretations of
Okay.
Disney. But the Peter Pan one is basically like he ages up until he like hits puberty, and then he's just super horny all the time.
Oh God.
And it's like there's literally a part where he's talking about Wendy, and she's like, "I'm a happy little thought."
Oh my God.
Like she's like the dentures never bite. She's like 90.
Oh my God.
I'll show you after this. It's so funny.
That is ridiculous.
Oh God, there's like 3 of them. I love that guy. I think it's John Coatsart. Like he's super talented.
I'll have to check that out.
But yeah, so y'all don't call me out because I will talk about my other one later. But my first one was definitely Inuyasha.
Who is that?
It's an anime character from the show Inuyasha.
I've never heard of that.
What?
It sounds
Never heard of
familiar,
it.
but I don't think I've ever watched
Yeah,
it.
What?
I've heard people say it before, but
It was literally okay. It was like the first show that came on Adult Swim at night. Hang on,
That's why it sounds familiar. Because we would watch like Metalocalypse and
fucking
yeah.
Robot Chicken.
yeah, like
Love
Robot
Robot
Chicken
Chicken.
came on like right after.
I hated Robot Chicken.
That was the show.
doesn't
That
look
was the
familiar
character.
to me at all, but look at his pants. They're like balloons.
Parachute pants.
It was like feudal Japan
Yeah.
era shit. Anyways, yeah. Eric?
The only way I can think of like growing up would. I feel like I'm gonna get made fun of for this, but
Probably.
Kim Possible.
Oh no,
I'm there.
that's valid.
Okay.
That's valid,
Yeah.
but Shigo.
See, I don't remember any more of the shows than that. I don't know that I
Shigo was
watched
my
that
first-
much of it.
Shigo was my first gay crush, and I didn't even realize it.
Yeah.
I feel like I've seen a lot of people say that.
She's so hot. Because everybody wants the hot goth girl. That's it. She's got anger issues. She's all gothy and pissy. Like, yeah. You know, she's a good time.
Yeah, I feel like
Pissy.
any like goth girl cartoon was
Like
like
angry.
a lot of lesbian women's first crushes.
Yeah, okay, because it's like there's like a trifecta of like her, Thorn, and I don't know, probably Sam Manson from Danny Phantom.
Yes, yeah, that one.
Yeah.
I never watched a lot of those shows. I watched a little bit of Kim Possible.
I watched all of those shows.
watched-
I was
I watched
more
a lot
like
of
a
cartoons.
Scooby-Doo and SpongeBob and Tom and Jerry.
That's fair.
kind of
So
kid.
Thorn
I watched
from
a
the
lot of
Next
Tom and
Girls.
Jerry.
Rocko's
Which-
Modern Life.
Yep.
Yeah.
Ren and Stimpy.
Ren and Stimpy.
Yep.
I'm a little young for that one,
Invader Zim.
which is funny because I'm not the youngest
Invader
in this
Zim.
group, but I didn't actually watch a lot of Invader Zim, but I loved Gur.
Courage the Cowardly Dog.
Courage the Cowardly Dog is my
terrifying.
Return the slave.
So my like next crush when I was like closer to like a preteen kind of like I think I was like 11 when this started happening because when I was like a little kid was Peter Pan where I was just like I'm gonna marry him, like it wasn't like a he's hot attraction, you know what I mean? But when I was old enough to think like boys were like kind of attractive, I was like, oh, okay. When I was 11, it was Zac Efron from High School Musical specifically.
Is that necessary?
Yeah, because it was gonna drip out and it's gonna knock the cup over.
And I remember
over there.
I had a
Thank
sleepover in 6th grade for my like 11th or 12th birthday. It was either like I think I was turning 11. Mm-hmm. So it was probably like 6th grade or the year right before I went to school. And my mom had gone to Hobby Lobby and bought all these like small like oval shaped cardboard boxes and was letting the girls like Mod Podge like collages from magazines that we had collected up. Because I had like 17 magazine and stuff.
Oh,
like,
you were a cool kid.
Oh, yeah. I had like all of the subscriptions and would get them. And so my mom collected them up and was like, cool, now all your friends can come over and they have a craft to do for the sleepover where they made cookies. So my entire box inside and out was just Zac Efron's face. Like I went through every magazine I could find and found every picture of Zac Efron in them and cut his head out and pasted it on that box.
That's scary.
Holy
Little
crap.
Yeah. I was 11.
So, like, I was in 5th grade when High School Musical came out. I remember very distinctly. And it was just, like, all of us. We all had Zac Efron fever. And honestly, he's only gotten hotter with time.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a shame. That's a good-looking man.
Yeah.
Except for when he played Ted Bundy.
I was about to say, I watched that after we talked about it. I went and watched it.
I couldn't finish it because I hated it so much.
I thought it was really good.
Well, he's a great actor. I just hate Ted Bundy.
Yeah.
Like, I talked about, like, I don't like personifying serial killers because they're
And I
dickheads.
agree, but this is, I feel like, the only time that it's justified to make him seem hot. Because they, like, showed footage from the actual trial where it was word for word what some of these women were saying about how they felt about him.
Yeah.
And thought they were in love with him and stuff. So, like, this is the only time, you know, like, them making Evan Peters hot and being Jeffrey Dahmer was not hot. No.
Jeffrey Dahmer's a nerd.
But the Ted Bundy one made sense. Now that I watched it, I was like, okay, they were justified, and he did look like he looked
For
a
the
lot like him.
times,
yeah,
I guess. Like,
But
he
he
was a
was
conventionally attractive man.
in that movie.
You know what I'm really worried about, though?
What?
With all the serial killer stuff getting popular, that they're going to try to do something about Richard Ramirez because he had a really big, fan following of, like, groupies. That man was not attractive, and his mouth literally was reported to smell like death because his teeth were rotting out of his head. So, let's
Disgusting.
not. Hope they're not doing that. Anyways.
So Zac Efron, what about you as a young teenager?
Nothing weird, but like as a young teenager, as a guy, like who wasn't my crush? Like,
Yeah.
really, the number one I could think of is probably Mila Kunis. Mila
Oh,
Kunis.
yeah. I always wanted to be her.
And it was all in the face too.
Was it from that 70s show specifically?
No,
or?
it was always like whatever movie.
Movies,
Because
yeah.
as Jackie, didn't care. I was
Yeah.
like, no,
That's
this isn't
actually a
it
good
for me.
thing because she was like 14.
Yeah.
But I mean, he would have been 14.
Yeah.
Too, so.
You know mine.
Yeah, but we're on a podcast, so you have to share with the group.
Oh, well, obviously I'm going to share. But,
How do I know yours? Because the only thing I'm thinking about is Shania Twain, and that's a real person.
yeah.
No, that doesn't count.
He literally just said
I
Mila
mean, just
Kunis.
cartoons. It could be real people.
I guess. I just don't feel like that's weird because
It's not weird.
it's supposed to be weird crushes. Mila Kunis and Shania Twain are both hot, attractive women.
Okay.
I have never heard of anyone like having a specific crush on Shania Twain.
Man,
That's kind of
fucking
funny.
love Shania
Okay,
Twain.
not just them, but still.
When
Like,
that bitch got a TikTok, I was like, ooh, your f***ing girlfriend's on TikTok.
she followed me back.
Oh my God.
Did she really?
Shut up. No.
Yes,
No.
she
It was a fake account.
No.
I swear to you.
It's a fake account.
It could be, yeah.
It's absolutely a fake account because I'm verified.
I'm verifying right now.
I know.
Fact check.
No way.
But
I hope that she actually followed him back.
I
That'd
hope
be
so too,
amazing.
because that would be funny. I seen it and I was like, oh, I'm going to make a joke about
I bet
this.
she doesn't even run the account.
No, probably
I
not.
thought you were about to say, I bet she doesn't even roll for funny.
I thought
Bet
that's
she
what you were about
doesn't.
to say too.
But no, yeah, she was my big one growing up. Like after I started like my preteen era, like teenage, like early teens, but mainly due to the fact that I saw her on TV a lot because I grew up listening to country music. That's all I listened to because it's all my mom listened to. So
Yeah.
that's always what was on. So like it was her first, and then I have another one after that too.
When I was that age, my dad and I bonded over watching the Blade movies because they are modern classics in my opinion, even though they are really not that good.
I never saw any of them.
But
Oh,
Blade
they're
Trinity is
amazing.
the best one. And Ryan Reynolds is in it, like young little baby Ryan Reynolds, and he is so fine. On God!
The myth has been busted. The Shania Twain that follows Eric is not verified.
Okay, cool.
He told you.
I said I was gonna make a joke about it.
So my like late teen crush is a little bit strange. 'Cause, like I told my mom and she was like, why?
It's okay, I'll outstrange you.
And then the year that I told her that, he got voted sexiest man in the world. So I was like, yeah, okay, try me. But Bradley Cooper.
That's just, like, for a lot of women, it's Bradley Cooper.
But as a like teenager, for me, like a lot of people weren't that into Bradley Cooper at the time. But and still to this day, like as far as like celebrities or whatever, there's 3 that I find very attractive: Chris Pratt, Bradley Cooper, and Zach Brown. Those are attractive men. He's beautiful.
I mean, like, yeah.
It was specifically from, I don't remember what I saw him in, but it was before The Hangover.
Limitless?
It might have been, I mean, I saw him in Limitless and I liked him in that. And then,
That was Bradley Cooper?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
And then,
Phenomenal movie, by the way.
Oh, I
it is
love
a
that
good
movie.
And then, what is the one where he's crazy? Silver Linings Playbook, which also is just a fantastic
Actually,
movie.
I really did like him in that, but I don't necessarily like that movie all that much.
I love that movie. I love Jennifer Lawrence in it. I think that he plays like a mentally unstable person very well and like respectfully. You know what I mean? Like not being like, I'm crazy, but like genuinely like looking like he doesn't understand what's going on sometimes or like getting overwhelmed or whatever.
That's probably the best thing about that movie was it
Yeah.
was such a good depiction of mental illness.
Yeah.
Like in a realistic way of like severe mentally ill.
And it's like also like a dark comedy at some parts. Like I love the part where they're at the dinner table and they just like start going off on what pills or whatever. And she's like, "Are you going to walk me home? Where are your table manners?" It's like dinner hasn't even started. And he's like, "Yes." Just gets up and they leave. It's so funny. Have you seen it?
Severe
No.
mental
Have not.
illness in that.
In it?
Speaking of a movie that portrays mental illness or like possibly autism really well, have y'all seen Frank?
No, I heard really good things about it though.
Love that movie.
It's like the first movie we ever watched together, and it is such a good movie.
Yeah?
Like, make time to watch it.
Okay.
It's awesome.
We'll have to do that one.
It's really cool.
All right. Ryan.
So, like,
late teens.
I'm starting to notice a trend as we're talking about this. Ariel Winter.
Ariel Winter.
She was the younger daughter in the show Modern Family.
Oh, yeah. I mostly heard about her when people flipped out because she got a breast reduction as an adult because she had, like, back pain as a teenager.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't even know who that is. I'll have to
I
look her
don't
up.
either.
She's a cute girl.
But I'm noticing a trend here. Everyone's dark hair.
Everybody's got their thing. I'm shocked nobody said Elastigirl, honestly.
All right, so you want a weird
we
one?
haven't gotten to...
You want a weird one?
We haven't gotten
Elastigirl.
to
That's
right now.
To current, yeah.
We haven't gotten to current yet because Elastigirl's on that list.
Oh, my God. Jesus
Oh,
Christ.
she's curvy.
Yeah, no, she's a really pretty girl.
Yeah.
So in high school, I was really into Tumblr. Back in the golden age of Tumblr. And I was on probably every side of Tumblr to some extent, but that also included Disney Tumblr. I saw a really great depiction of a humanized Scar from the Lion King.
Oh, God.
And yeah, that has never gone away. I can't get rid of it. It's in my brain. He was hot.
Then it's been brought back up now.
Well, yeah, and now I read a lot of really terrible books about morally gray men, and I'm like, but if they looked like human Scar. So yeah.
So late teens?
Late teens.
Yeah. I have another one when you're done that I
no.
forgot about till just now.
I actually remembered one while everyone was talking, so I guess I'll do... Can I do two?
Yeah.
Late teens?
Of course.
That one?
That wasn't the picture, but it's not a terrible one. I honestly cannot.
It's that one.
The first one that always comes to mind and is still to this day, one of them is Halle Berry,
Yeah.
but
Oh,
specifically
yeah.
from X-Men, not as Catwoman. Which
Not from Swordfish?
the hell is Swordfish?
It was
Yeah,
a
what
hacking
is-
movie with John Travolta. And, all right, never mind. So continue. Sorry.
Definitely Halle Berry from X-Men. Always will be, because I don't think she's aged like a day since then either. So she looks exactly the same. And then Shakira, like when she very first started getting off in music.
Yeah, I can agree with the Shakira one too.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm going to defend my decision about Scar a little bit, and
Okay.
because I'm
Wow.
thinking about it. And you know how everybody has a really big thing for Loki?
I don't find the actor attractive in any way. I don't understand everyone's thing with him. No offense to anyone that's attracted to him, but like
I only get it for very specific Loki scenes, but not Loki overall. However, because the particular picture I'm thinking of, he was like dressed really nicely in like a nice suit and everything, and it had like that like
classy, dapper
daddy vibe.
Yeah, okay. That's that word too.
Oh gosh,
I've got an actual weird one, and it's not like current or anything, but those like redrawings, and there was a couple of them when we were in Jim Thorpe when we saw him in the gift shop. Those,
I know what you're talking about.
Those drawings of like classic Disney characters, but like full sleeve tatted and like piercings and stuff like that. I don't know, like Little Mermaid with
like
full sleeve of tattoos.
Disney inspired pinup girls are supposed to be hot.
Okay, but because I'll argue that because Prince Eric was one of my original crushes, and now I'm marrying an Eric, even though he doesn't have black hair.
And I'm
my other one doesn't seem as weird now that y'all said all those, but
thanks.
I was also in my early-ish mid-teens, like I was like 15, 16-ish, really into Travie McCoy from Gym Class Heroes.
I know a lot of people were. I never got into him.
I think it was just like the edgy, like kind of hippie looking.
I was one of them who was obsessed with Pete Wentz.
Oh my god!
I was never really attracted to him. I thought he was awesome, but like I never like found him hot.
Which is funny because now I'm like, that is not that attractive of a guy.
I actually, between the two of them, liked Patrick Stump better.
I always thought Patrick Stump was unattractive.
Really? I thought he was cute.
I mean, I love his voice.
Yeah.
I never,
Were you
And
like
then,
one
of
of
course-
the Danny Worsnop girls too, from Asking Alexandria?
No, because I didn't listen to
I was
Ask Me
about to say she doesn't know who that
Alexandria,
is.
'cause I thought they were overrated.
No, you're wrong.
I don't like.
You're right.
I don't like Screamo, and no. I do think they were overrated because it was one of those bands that suddenly everybody started talking about and went shut the up about.
Yeah.
So I knew they were overrated, but it also wasn't the kind of music I listened to. So no. I will say though, I'm a really, really, really late person to be attracted to the lead singer of Black Veil Brides.
Ugh.
I'm super late to that.
No.
Like, I don't even have to know him as a person. That man has a pretty face.
He's somebody's brother. I think he's the brother.
He's somebody's brother.
Yeah,
probably.
I think he's the brother from the guy from 3 Days Grace. The singer from 3 Days Grace.
The original one or the new one? Because they do have a new
I have
singer.
no idea. I didn't know they got a new one. I just remember that one song, Pins and Needles, from like 10 or 15 years ago, and everyone's like, oh my God.
Yeah, they're like super like edgy, depressing Screamo.
Yep.
I was not into
I loved it.
back then. Not to me.
I got another weird crush. You ready for this? Talking about bands.
Daniel Radcliffe.
I didn't like Daniel Radcliffe back in the day. Now that he's a weirdo, love him.
I liked him back in the day. Oh my
Like
god.
you're talking about that one video we've seen recently of the assless chaps.
No, other stuff too.
That one's hilarious.
I do appreciate him for his ashless chaps moment because that man has no shame,
He'll
and I
be
love
coming
that.
round the mountain.
Like, I just love that he's like really embraced just like being that weird actor who will kind of do anything for funsies.
Yeah, because he's made so much money, he doesn't really care.
Yeah,
anymore.
like he can really do that. Everybody's like, Harry Potter. But yeah.
When you do a movie series that long, like it's not going to leave you.
Yeah, this is like his whole life.
Yeah.
Who was your other crush, babe?
I wouldn't say it a crush, but just I can like identify this as a good looking guy. Jeremy McKinnon from A Day to Remember, the lead singer.
I thought he was funky looking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, I gotta look him up. I don't actually know.
He's
what he
got
looks
like that Neanderthal eyebrow. Like, he's definitely not a
that doesn't
bad
do it for
looking
me.
guy. But like, yeah, some women are really into that because they like the whole like gruff, like, you know, look or whatever. But I've always just thought he's kind of strange looking. Although A Day to Remember was my favorite band in high school.
Love them.
I love them.
That face of disapproval.
I don't like how he looks.
What? Let me see.
We're being so mean. He looks like hopefully none of these.
I'm
people
sorry. He
ever-
looks like a dork.
I mean, to be fair, like most guys in bands are. Like,
it doesn't do it for me. I don't know. Maybe it's just the pictures that they picked, but he looks almost yuppie. But then he's like the lead singer of A Day to Remember, and I'm like, that just doesn't look right.
It's so good we're
Where's the
on
long
camera
hair?
because could you imagine like Pete Wentz or something comes across this and sees this like dumpy girl in her litlittle office shirt and no makeup, so you're like, he just doesn't really do it for me. I'm not really into famous Pete Wentz.
Everybody loved me. It's also like I didn't like Brendan Urie back in the day, but I think he's more attractive now. But now he's a person, so
I thought he was more attractive back in the day.
I didn't like him with the hair. I liked him with the little
hair.
coif.
And I remember the first song that ever made me like, was that. Is that something that makes you sweat? All you think about in bed when the lights are dim. Yeah, that one. I was like, why do I feel this way? Oh, I love that song.
Oh gosh, that's a good song too.
Yeah, it still is a good song.
It's difficult. It's like y'all are talking about like bands and stuff, and I'm now regretting not like caring as much
About music and singers.
Yeah, about like anybody who's had any amount of like fame and in general, because I just don't know their names, don't know their faces.
Yeah.
Just I legit am that person who I loved that movie Limitless. Didn't know the actor's name. Didn't even bother looking it up. Didn't care.
Well, me and Alicia specifically are not only like generation, but also like aesthetic and everything that we had in high school and like the group we hung out with and everything are like a living meme now.
Yeah.
So you just, even if you didn't, because I didn't know the names of any of them during that time, I know them now because everyone talks about them so much. Because
I knew some of them back then, but not like I knew probably Pete Wentz, Brendan Urie, and Patrick Stump, and didn't know any of the rest of them.
I knew Max
Jared
Bemis
Leto?
because I loved. No.
30 Seconds to Mars?
I knew Jared Leto.
Jared Leto's a cult leader and a terrible person, so no.
Whoa.
He's a good singer, though.
Whoa.
I will give you that. I do actually like 30 Seconds to Mars. I hate Jared Leto.
Like
I don't know anything about
I'm
any
the
of
same
this.
way you are, though, like with politics and sports. Like, if it comes to like anyone's names or players or like a politician, I could give it.
I don't.
Dude.
I'm that way with everything though. Like it does not matter. Like one of the bands I still listen to, I listen to Muse a lot. Like all of their old stuff. I couldn't name a single person in that band.
I like Muse.
I love Muse.
Me and my mom were talking this morning about people that are really into sports like that. About how like we just don't like I can't understand. Like there's nothing that I care about that much. Like and I care like I mean like well nothing that I care about that much that doesn't like personally affect my life. You know what I mean? Like she was talking to me about people just like canceling things and stuff over.
Oh, yeah.
They're not going to be able to watch the game.
People get crazy over sports. I'm like, I've never related to that either.
Me neither. And I like enjoy watching them when they're on. Like I always watch the Super Bowl.
I don't.
Every year.
So
I go to a
boring.
Super Bowl party.
I
and
just
I
look
think
up
it's
the halftime
fun.
show after it's over.
I go to the Super Bowl every morning.
Oh my God.
Roll for funny.
You're not funny.
2.
Damn.
Why am I the only one that ever rolls for funny?
Because everyone else.
Because you make
makes
bad
funny
jokes.
jokes.
Nope, it's gone. Never mind.
It's gone.
So y'all
It's
want,
been.
Yeah, it's a band.
do y'all want to move on to relationship advice then?
Yeah, I can't necessarily think of any weird crushes that I have now. All of them I absolutely guarantee are
I have a
cartoon characters.
really weird crush right now.
Tell me.
It's this guy, Ryan, that I married. Weird. Huge crush. Obsessed.
I can't even think
It's
of.
me.
That's cool. Yeah, I just thirst over hot tattooed women on TikTok now. So
Yeah.
That
I've
takes
seen
up
you
the majority of my
scrolling
time.
before and been like, oh.
yeah, yeah, I have a type.
Who's the wolf from Hell of a Boss?
Luna! I love her.
Yeah,
Love her.
Can't.
I wish she were a person.
I hate it. I hate that.
You don't
she's a
hate it.
wolf.
You don't hate it. She literally has
He's
a
an
human form.
anti-furry.
She has a human form.
Yeah, but the
They
human
made
form
her
doesn't
so
do
hot
it.
for no reason.
That's the thing. The human form doesn't do it.
Okay, it does for me, but also I love Millie. So I would get all up in that. And she's like this tall and like a murderer.
Do you know what they're talking about?
Nope, no idea.
Hell of
Don't
a
worry
Boss.
about it. It's Hell of a Boss. If you haven't seen it, watch it. It's amazing.
I got another weird crush.
Yeah.
Any Disney mom animated ever.
Oh, my God.
Like,
Okay,
Yeah.
wait. Can you guys tell me? You know Aunt Cash from Big Hero 6.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why is everybody obsessed with Aunt Cass? I don't get it.
I gotta
Because
look
you've
up.
seen the picture, right?
Cute.
She's cute.
The photoshopped picture where she's like leaning over the counter. Is that the one you're talking about?
Rule 34 picture.
No,
God.
not that specifically.
I see a lot of explicit
Oh,
material
this
about her.
one? Or I guess that person?
Yep.
Aunt Cass,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
So there is a
There's like a really big
That
weird
one, yeah.
following about Aunt Cass.
someone did that.
People love Aunt Cass, and
Yep.
I don't
Weird.
know why.
I get it.
Maybe it's because she has mommy energy, but she's not actually a mom.
That's all it is. Because, I mean, look at the face. It's mom energy. You know what I mean?
I love her.
she's
She's
cute,
so
yeah.
sweet.
I get it. 100%.
Eric's like, where is she? I got
Here's
this.
the thing, though, right? Like, I get Elastigirl because she's thick as hell, and they like
For no reason.
They made her elastic. Like,
Yeah.
what do you not want about that?
Yeah.
But like Aunt Cass is just like sweet little Aunt Cass. She runs a coffee shop. Like, leave her alone.
She's dirty.
Oh my god.
Guaranteed.
Only in y'all's fantasies.
Oh my
I didn't say
God.
not y'all. I didn't say anything.
Listen, but the Elastigirl thing, because like, do you remember? I think I showed you the video of the dude who's like, he goes up to the pauses Incredibles and goes up to like behind Elastigirl and like pulls a ruler out or like a tape measure and he's like, that's quite big.
Okay, but wait. Y'all have actually seen The Big Hero 6, though,
Yeah,
right?
it's been a
Okay.
while, but
I
I
yeah.
love that movie.
I hate to out myself here, but the amount of weird people make about her and Go-Go specifically, it's weird.
Hang on. More Google searches.
Oh, I could just pull up Reddit for you. It's everywhere.
Oh my God.
It's
Oh.
really bad.
I had a dream I have to write down so that way we can do that thing with the dreams later.
Oh, from
Oh,
today?
yeah?
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. Don't tell me, or I mean, you can write it down for me, but don't tell everybody yet. So we
Already
read
told
I
it.
can
Okay.
see people being weird about her on the internet.
Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
Like, if I had to have a crush on anybody out of the movie, it'd be Go-Go. But there's a lot of weird shit about Go-Go and Aunt Cass specifically.
Sorry, and Cass over Go-Go. Sorry.
Christ.
Anyway, on to
Comparing Pixar
relationship
characters.
advice before we just start looking at porn.
Corn.
I'm sorry.
What's it called? Hentai or whatever? Yeah.
Rule
It's
34.
not. Yeah.
Don't act like you didn't know what that was called.
I went to say manga.
You guys
What?
get started on the grab.
Okay, I meant to say manga or manga, whatever you call it, but then I was like, oh, that's not what it is. It's hentai.
Yep.
It's also not manga.
How do you say it?
Manga.
Manga.
Good job gatekeeping.
Hang on. You shut the f up. Ryan, shut the f up.
I
Shut the f up.
don't read or watch anime, so I wouldn't know.
I haven't read. I mean, I haven't read manga since like middle school, but
I have watched 2 animes ever. Sword Art Online.
okay. November 6th of 2022 was the day in the show that everybody got stuck in the game.
Really?
Yeah, I saw a TikTok the other day.
Ooh. And then the metaverse is coming out.
It made me want to rewatch it.
Yeah. That
show
one,
gets-
and then I watched Fruits Basket.
I never watched
Which
Fruits Basket.
is what you would love it. It's literally you in a show.
I've heard that as an adult that I would really like it, but
It's so
I have not
good.
made myself watch it yet.
Yeah, she
Okay,
just
I've
told
told
you
you
as an
guys before we do an anime podcast, please watch Death Note.
Like the entire thing or a couple
It's
episodes?
one season.
Okay.
It's one
entire
season
thing.
of a show. It's so
Is that
good.
the one where he writes like
I've
people he
been
wants to kill in a
told-
book? Yeah.
Yeah.
I've been told to watch that
It's
one.
It's
amazing.
actually a really good like psychological thriller kind of show.
Somebody at work told me my notebook that I carry on actually looks like the Death Note notebook.
I mean, it's a plain black notebook.
It's exactly what I carry.
Yeah.
I watched a couple episodes of One Punch Man too.
I watched
Which is
all of
funny.
One Punch Man,
Yeah.
and One Punch Man was amazing.
I've never
is
seen
pretty
One
good.
Punch Man, but I did see that meme on TikTok that was like impressions of One Punch Man before and after watching it. It's like, so it takes one punch. And then after he's like, it took one punch.
Yep.
Yeah.
What about the one 5-finger Death Punch Man?
Roll for funny.
I'm trying to help you.
Not funny.
It's a 9.
No, not funny.
Not funny.
There's no helping him. Don't help him.
I
Save
want to help
yourself.
you.
The 5-finger Death Punch
Get
Man.
some help.
Where did you get your PhD?
What?
So you're not qualified to help him.
Great job on gatekeeping.
That's not gatekeeping, babe.
Okay, that was actually good.
That's called
Roll for funny.
diagnosing.
Roll for funny.
Nat 20.
Everyone laughed at my joke.
I didn't.
I was attacked.
You should be used to that by now.
Okay, let's talk about healthy relationships now.
Well, we bully each other.
roast each other.
That's part of a healthy relationship.
Frosted.
Okay. On a more serious note, shut up.
Serious note, Eric. Serious. Get real serious.
Seriously.
What? So serious.
Like, have you seen my silhouette? Eek. It's giving that bitch energy. Sheesh. Okay. What is the best piece of relationship advice you could give to somebody?
Rurt?
Shut the fuck up and listen.
from a man, that's really valid.
Yeah.
And don't try to help every single thing. Just listen.
Yeah, that's not bad advice. Sometimes you can't solve everything.
And I realize when you're telling me about like a bad day at work or like your boss is pissing you off or something, it's not because like you want me to help. It's just like you just want to tell me about it.
Yeah, get it off your chest kind of thing.
But in my head, it's like, you need to go talk to HR. Do this. Fill this out. Why do this? And you're like, no, I just want to like vent.
You know, I actually have seen in some like friendships, like you like can preface by saying, "Hey, I just want to vent. I don't want help," or "Hey, I need help with this. Can you help me find a solution?" And then getting into it.
Me and Felicia have that rule.
Yeah,
because we've been friends for so long. We've like, there's been times where like she'll like get upset with me and be like, "I just want to vent. Like I don't want you to tell me what to do." And I'm like, "Cool. Just tell me that first, because otherwise, the whole time you're talking, I'm listening for what advice. Yeah, I'm trying to help. So.
I'm the same way.
Yeah, if you don't want advice, let me know, and I will not give you unsolicited advice.
Yeah. Anyways, Grayson, what's your advice?
I would say, for me personally, something I not only struggle with, but I'm also very aware of, and think that everyone should be aware of in a relationship, is that when you get into a fight, whether it be a big fight or a small fight that got big enough that you're upset with each other or whatever, like either like try to laugh it off and move on, and like basically accept that sometimes things don't have to be resolved and it's not that big of a deal. Like
it's okay to go to bed angry.
Not necessarily like go to bed angry, but like, for instance, like, okay, we got in a little bickering match yesterday at the grocery store. And, like, I don't have to go in the details of, like, what it was about. But it was, like, a small argument, not a fight. But I got very upset. Like, it was personally very upsetting to me. And it hit, like, a sore spot that, like, I don't think Ryan realized was as sore for me as it was. And, like, for, like, probably, 2 hours after the initial fight, like, did not speak to him other than like, and just stewed in my head. And it's one of those things where, like, he wasn't trying to upset me. Like, it's not like he's going out of his way to be, like, a shitty dude and say something shitty to me. And, like, we got home, and he's like, do you want something to drink? Like, do you care if I go play my game? Can I sit next to you? Like, just trying to go back to normal. And I'm, like, stewing on it still and upset. And, like, I just think sometimes it's okay to, like, he doesn't need to apologize for it. You know what I mean? Like, maybe we don't have to, like, it wasn't a huge life-changing thing. Like, you don't always have to sit down and be like, here's what you did wrong. Here's what we can do next time. Like, unless it's a serious thing, like, it's okay to laugh it off and let it go.
Yeah.
I think not a lot of people do that. And then it makes everything so intense and so, like, dissecting everything you do all the time. And it's healthy to talk things out and apologize when you deserve an apology, but you having a mood swing doesn't justify the other person needing to apologize to you all the time, is basically what I'm getting at. So
I don't want to contradict what you said, but like, you bring up another good point. Like, just talk about shit.
Well, yeah, that's what I mean. Like,
talk sometimes.
Instead of stewing on it, I had two choices. I could have just let it go like you did, and we could have both enjoyed our evening instead of me being like shitty the whole time. Or I could have just told you exactly, like, I want an apology. Well, I mean, we could have moved on from it. Like,
I mean, like, if something did bother you, like, having the guts to go to your partner and just be like, hey, this thing that happened kind of bugged me, and this is why it bugged me. Instead of, like, just letting it, like, sit in the back of your head and you start building resentment for somebody.
Yeah, and then just being honest if you need some time, too. Because, like, there's been a couple times recently where, like, I've gotten very mad and been, like that morning that I woke up late. And I was mad because I woke up late. And, like, Ryan didn't do anything. And I'm just, like, get out of my face or whatever. Like, leave me alone. Bag. Yeah, and he, like, went to, like, give me a hug by. And I, like, gave him a hug and everything, but it was, like, half-hearted. And as soon as he walked out the door, I was, like, I'm being like, I was like, this is me being like, why am I ruining his morning because I woke up on the wrong side of the bed? And I called him and was like, I'm really sorry. Like, that wasn't your fault and I shouldn't have taken it out on you. And he was like, it's okay. Like, I knew you were in a bad mood, so I just figured, like, I'm gonna let you work it out and, like, relax or whatever. But yeah, like, admitting you're wrong when you need to, but if it's not that serious, like, just move past it. Don't dwell on it.
Yeah, I'm one of those people who's really easily prone to anger, and I'll hold on to for the sake of stubbornness because I'm a Taurus. And I've like had to get a lot better about that in our relationship, and thank God I have somebody who's very, very, very patient with me.
Yeah.
But I've tried to like get around to just like talking it out sooner. And I'm like, even if you have nothing to contribute to this conversation, I just want to address that I'm having these feelings, where I think these feelings are coming from. I don't think it's necessarily your fault, but it's something that triggered me to feel this way.
Yeah.
And so maybe we can find a way to avoid that in the future, or at least handle it differently so that I don't feel triggered, and I can also address my feelings so I don't immediately jump to anger for no reason.
Yeah.
Because you don't deserve that.
That way he knows how to avoid things that you're sensitive to that he wouldn't have known if you didn't say anything, and you're not blaming him.
Yeah.
100% when you're upset.
Yeah, especially for it's fairly blameless.
Yeah.
It's just, I recognize as people a lot of times, instead of being angry at people, we're angry at situations.
And we take it out on
we
people.
take it out on people.
Yeah.
And I'm really bad about that. And so it's something I try to get better about by speaking
Yeah.
about my emotions.
I know, like, it's insane the amount of times that if you just, like, take a step back and be like, leave me alone for a minute. I'm not mad at you. Let me think about this and I'll get back to you.
I feel like I do that all the time.
But you've taught me to start doing it instead of reacting so much. And it is incredible the amount of time where I'll spend 45 minutes of the hour that I take to myself going over in my head how, like, no, he messed up and here's why. And, like, proving it to myself. And then in that last 15 minutes being like, no, you're irrational and you need to go apologize.
Yeah.
And realizing, no, it's me. I'm the problem. And, like, it's just wild, like, how often if you actually take that time to, like, let me really calm down
Yeah.
and process, you'll realize, like, hey, I'm being... And sometimes you're not. Sometimes you're like, no, we need to really get down to the nitty-gritty of what you just did to me. But...
Can I cut in line again, but so I don't forget my thought?
Yeah, go ahead.
Sorry, I don't want to take spot away from Eric. But no, this one just popped up, and it was the source of, like, probably 90% of our arguments in our first part of our relationship. And I still struggle with it to this day. But best piece of relationship advice I can give besides just listening is being confident in yourself as an adult by yourself.
Yeah.
Knowing what you know, and, you know, being comfortable with yourself and being comfortable with what you know and what you feel and what you believe in. Because a lot of the arguments we got into early on were because I thought she was attacking me for something stupid. Like, I thought she was treating me like a kid. But that was all in my head. That was all, like, me thinking, like, you're not mature enough. You're not grown up. You don't know how to handle your money or whatever.
Yeah. It's easy to get defensive when you feel embarrassed, even if it wasn't.
That's
like,
what it is. You start feeling
embarrassing.
embarrassed, yeah.
Yeah, even if it's not even something you necessarily should feel embarrassed about, but it's just an insecurity.
Yeah.
Once we got over that hump, like, things have been... Every argument we've gotten into since lasts maximum 2 hours.
Yeah, and they're all small. Like, it's nice being with someone where when you go into an argument, you know, like, this is just an argument. It's not going to lead to the end of the relationship.
Yeah.
Because it's weird, like, dating when you're, like, your first fight, you're like, is this it? Or are we going to move on from it? Like,
Yeah. I think, like, we've been pretty fortunate. Like, I don't think we've ever gotten, like, a full-on, like, yelling at each other argument. Especially Eric. He doesn't yell.
Yeah.
Like, we do speak loudly, but we don't actually yell. But, like, we also, like, met each other at a point where we were both mature enough in life to, like, start addressing our feelings pretty quickly, especially because we'd both been in pretty toxic situations. And we're like, I'm going to just put this card on the table and see if this implodes.
Yeah.
And luckily it didn't, but we were in a bad enough place that it actually made us be very, very like overly healthy and communicating. And, like, we're not always the best about it still, but
It's good y'all took it that way, because a lot of the time, like, it can go one of two ways. Either, like, you're so insecure from previous relationships that you never, like, trust or rely on or confide in your new partner because you're like, I've been burned before, or you just go full deep dive into it. Like, here's all my issues and here's what pisses me off. And if you don't like it, get out.
Yeah.
And that's sometimes the best way to do it, because they're like, nah, I got you. We're like, I'm good with that.
Yeah.
I still struggle with that first half because, like, that manifested me joking about it here on Snapchat. I'm like, oh, you're talking to your boyfriends? And I'm trying to get it through my head that it's silly. Like, stop it. Stop worrying about it. But that's 100%, like, that's me. Not that I don't trust you. It's just like, just trust issues to begin with.
Yeah.
And those don't always go away. So, like, when I talked to her about this, whenever y'all went to Helen, that, like, brought up a whole thing for me from a previous relationship that I have not thought about in years. Like, over 7 years, I have not thought about this.
Yeah.
And she's been out with her friends before, but I was like, the whole time, I was like, oh, I was like, she's gone. I haven't heard from her in like 4 hours. I was like, what's going on? She's talking all this crazy. And then I'm like,
someone's flirting with her.
I know where this is coming from, and I know this is crazy. And it was like one of the very first things that we talked about after you got back that next day.
Yeah.
Because I was like, I know where this is coming from. I know this is not what's happening. I know it's my brain telling me stupid.
Yeah.
But like, for me, my biggest thing, because this is something I struggled with very, very much, and I've gotten a lot better with, was talk about your feelings. Holy
I know.
Or literally anything or any problem that's going on.
Well, that's really
you're
hard
not
for
alone.
men, especially.
Yeah.
Like,
It's not about the relationship.
Yeah. No, literally.
Yeah,
because,
your personal feelings. Talk about them.
Yeah, I did not. I tell people all the time this is real freaking mush crap, but it's true. And I tell her all the time, I was like, I did not have a soul before we met. I didn't cry. I did not. Nothing made me cry at all.
He didn't cry at his first wedding.
No, didn't.
Oh, wow.
I cry thinking about weddings whenever I think about our wedding now, right? Because she has made me learn to talk about my feelings and learn to communicate a lot better. And that's why a lot of the reasons that we really don't get into arguments is because we do what we did yesterday.
Yeah.
Was when we got home from playing D&D, she just learned this new thing about ADHD, which is like one of the big things that I've known about for a while. Just don't take your shoes off when you get home. Mm-hmm. If you have ADHD, don't take your shoes off when you get home if you have stuff to do.
Yeah, that's such a great hack. I never thought about that, but I'm so much more productive.
Is
when
it
I
just
have
because like a
shoes.
comfort thing? Like you
No,
sit down?
it's
or?
a production thing. Like
Yeah,
when
it's
your
something
shoes are
about your
on-
shoes being on and your brain is like, we're doing stuff, we're accomplishing tasks.
Now that I
But
think
when your
about it-
shoes come off, you're like, I'm f***ing done.
I'm free. I don't have to do anything else.
Wow.
Like I can chill for the rest of the night. But like as soon as I take my shoes off, I'm ready to chill. My brain is in chill mode. I don't want to do a single chore or anything for the rest of the night. What?
And I was just gonna say, like, now that you like say it out loud, 110%. Like, I can get home from work and leave my shoes on, and like, if I know we got to get some stuff done, my shoes stay on, and I'm
running,
cleaning
take the
dishes,
trash out,
taking the trash off, sweeping the floor, mopping, setting up the table, doing everything, and then like an hour before y'all get there for game night, like shoes are off, playing Half-Life.
Yep.
Yeah.
You know, I've heard that's real psychology too. I haven't heard that one before, which is interesting, and I'm going to keep that in mind now for when I have stuff to do after work, especially exercising.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I'll come home and take my shoes off, and it means I'm relaxed now. I'm at home, and so my like edge is off.
Yeah.
But I've heard the same thing about hitting snooze on your alarm clock in the morning. If you hit snooze in the morning, even just once for 5 minutes, it's the very first decision you're making for the day, and it's to procrastinate, and it sets you up for mental failure for the rest of the day.
Oh, I don't
I don't like that at all.
But it's true, and it's like a huge psychology hack that if you can just tough it out, and when your alarm goes off, get your ass out of bed, you will have a more productive day, almost guaranteed.
I don't like that,
and be more awake and more aware and like take your day more seriously, because psychologically, the very first thing you did today, you're proud of yourself for, and you did what you were supposed to do, and you didn't put it off till later. Damn it. So
I'm going to try that.
Yeah, now I'm going to try it, and I hate myself because I snooze my alarm for like an hour.
I do too, and then I'm cranky as when I get up, because I also just the mental health thing of like dozing and waking up every 10 minutes is terrible.
Oh, yeah.
For like just connecting to reality and everything. So
I've only got one qualm with it, is that like I did that this morning. I snoozed over and over and over again. And granted, I was not very productive. My list of like stuff I wrote down this morning when I got to work to do, I got like 3 things done out of like probably 25.
oh wow.
But I was in so many conference calls, I was in so many meetings. My cognitive thinking was like not. I was about, what's the opposite of subpar? Like
Great.
just really, really good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I was able to like they would bring up a problem, and I was like, solution.
Well, and
Next.
there's another side to that too.
Exceptional, yeah.
That I've heard where, like, okay, so if you wake up, like for me, for instance, I have to be up by 7 if I'm going to get out of the house in time for work. I try to get up at 6 because if I get up at 7, I'm rushing and stuff. So another thing is like, so you got to choose at that point. So like, say it was D&D night and I stayed up till midnight. I set my alarm for 6. And when I wake up, I'm like, that wasn't enough sleep. I need that extra hour. Getting the extra hour of sleep for your overall health is better. So hitting snooze, or in that case, turning off and resetting a new alarm. Even though it's going to affect your productivity, it's for your own like sake of healing your body and resting, you're better off getting that hour to 45 minutes extra.
Sleep does
if you
phenomenal
need it.
things for your body.
I have another good piece of relationship advice. Do you have one?
I have my first one.
That's like,
Okay, you go.
Can I finish my story?
I weigh in on
sorry.
everything. You finish your story,
You
then I'll
guys
go.
talking over them.
Yeah.
We all do.
The whole
That's fine.
ADHD thing is what I was getting to is that we came home after D&D and I came in here. I changed completely. I got into my pajamas.
It was
I
so
took my shoes
fast.
off. Like, I'm in my slippers. Like, I'm ready to go. I'm sitting
Done.
at my computer. I'm ready to play video games the rest of the night. And
I got
then-
anxiety and started cleaning.
Yeah, right. So she got home, immediately went to the kitchen and started cleaning, and then came in here and started to ask me to help with chores, which once I'm in that mode, which we had a whole conversation about this, like, I'm ready to be done. Like, I didn't know we were going to come home and clean. This is something we talked about. I was like, if I'd have known, we could have done it.
Yep.
But, like, I didn't know, so I got ready and I got comfortable, but we started trying to discuss, like, a better way for us to understand, like, when is cleaning. That way we both know.
Yeah, because we had to discuss balancing how his sleep schedule works because I'm a really, really light sleeper, so I can't really have him do chores while I'm sleeping, or I'll just sleep like But I can do, like, dishes while he's sleeping. He won't wake up because he sleeps like a rock. But, like, I had asked him to vacuum. That was really the only main thing,
Yeah.
or at least where it started.
Where
I
it
was
started, then we just
where it
ended up
started.
cleaning for two and a half hours.
Yeah. I was like, can you please vacuum? Because, like, I'd asked him earlier in the day, and then, like, he went and took what we call his long sleep, which is usually, like, 5 or 6 hours. And then he woke up for a couple of hours, went and took a nap. And those 2 hours that he was up, we were both super low energy, and we just, like, watched TikToks, and then he went back to bed. And then we got up and we had to go to D&D. So then we come up and then we're awake for a couple more hours together. I'm like, this is the only time we have to do these
Yeah.
things, that we're both awake and it's an acceptable time to do these things. So my brain is like, go right now.
Yeah.
Whereas he's like, it's nighttime. This is when I sit down and play video games and relax. And half the time I'm in bed by then. So it's weird because we have different schedules like that. And so we're having to make mental leaps and reorganize ourselves together in more of a non-traditional way to at least
and I was,
accomplish
like,
goals together.
Super grumpy.
Yeah. And you gotta, like, respect each other's, like, this is my self-care relaxation time. And, like,
Yeah, well, and I told him too, I was like, in my brain, I'm like, you stay up all night playing video games. You get to do that every single night.
yeah.
We call that being selfish with your time.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm like, but, like, I'm awake for, like, an hour right now, and you were super tired earlier today, so now you can help me do that chore that you said that you would do. Because if you don't do it now, then it's not going to get done till tomorrow. But because I asked you to do it today, I'm going to be pissed off about it tomorrow. And I don't want to have that fight.
Yeah.
So I'm asking you to do it now.
Yeah. And then I vacuumed.
This man changes. First of all, this man changes at lightning speed. As soon as he was in this house, he was in slippers. I was
Wow.
like, excuse you.
I can get in bed at the blink of an eye.
Yeah.
I can be an underwear fan on under the covers under 15 seconds.
Yeah, he'll be sitting fully clothed at his computer desk and be like, I'm getting a little sleepy. I think I might head to bed. And I'm like, cool, let me go pee and I'll meet you in there. And I will literally take 10 seconds to go pee and then I'll walk in there and he's in his underwear under the covers, starting
Already
to
almost
snore.
asleep. Yeah.
Yeah. Ring off, phone plugged up, alarm set, everything.
That's
Amazing.
awesome.
Yeah.
But, like, I got vacuuming done, and then we end up damn near deep cleaning the whole. Well, actually, no, we kind of deep cleaned the whole.
Yeah,
kitchen.
we did. Like, we took everything off the counter, scrubbed everything down, did all the dishes, cleaned the stove really well, cleaned the microwave, which was disgusting.
I know I need to
Found
clean
out
mine.
that
Like,
our
swept.
stove is, like, bolted to the floor or the wall because it will not pull out.
Yeah, it won't pull out from the wall. So landlord's gonna have some fun with that after we move out.
Yeah, I don't know, because I legit opened it up and like grabbed underneath it and was like pulling as hard as I could.
I had to tell him to stop because I'm like, if you damage the wall, like we're gonna get in big trouble. So my best piece of relationship advice, which has been taken for granted by so many people I know, but just date your best friend. Date your best friend.
Yeah,
that's the easiest way to do it because that's the only way you're gonna like that person. And there's a lot of people who like have like, I'm not a girlfriend girl. I don't have a lot of female friends, or at least I didn't before. But I am like a notorious best friend dater, but I also have very, very rarely had short-term relationships.
that's true of you. Yeah,
I always dated somebody for at least a year.
Yeah,
Before we broke up. But it was also, those were my closest relationships. My boyfriend or my partner has always been my best friend. And when I've had crushes on females, those females were my best friends.
Yeah.
And that has always been a trend throughout my life. But like, I could never imagine having to live day by day with somebody and not want to be around them.
Yeah.
And like up their ass 24/7.
Or like the same sense of humor and stuff.
Yeah. I'm like, if you're stuck with me, you're stuck with me. But yeah, just date your best friend. It ends up being so much better. Like there's a lot of reasons to like get married, like for financial reasons or even platonic life partners and all that. That's fine. But you have to pick somebody that you can tolerate. And you tolerate more than anybody your best friend.
Yeah.
And if you can find somebody who you both love and feel affection for and attraction to, and you don't get bored of, that is a best friend, and that's who you should date, in my opinion. That's the best way to have a healthy relationship because you're going to be most openly communicative with that person. You're going to be more willing to extend yourself and open yourself to that person, and hopefully them back if they're, a good friend.
Yeah.
And that, it makes it a lot easier to have a healthy relationship.
I got two more if no one else has one.
I have one, but you can do one, then I'll do one.
My two are quick. So my first one, be safe, but get your hoe phase out of the way early.
Yeah.
Yes. I had a late hoe phase.
I had an early hoe.
Sucked.
I had your normal age 21 to 25 hoe phase and got over that.
As a serious dater, like literally like long-term relationship to long-term relationships, almost back to back.
Yeah.
When I got dumped for the first time at 20, and I was in a really bad place and I had a mental breakdown, like I literally forgot patches of time because I was not mentally right.
Yeah.
For a lot of reasons, not all of my own fault, but certainly some of it was. That was when I hit my hoe phase. I only got it for 3 months, and then I met this motherfucker. And I always joke that he ruined my hot girl summer before it began.
At least you did it, though.
Yeah, but and I have told some of my friends that it, maybe don't have the most healthy relationships or struggle with their own mental health and relationships. I'm like, just be by yourself. Be by yourself, have that hoe phase, get out there and do what you want to do, but then go home by yourself and learn to be by yourself because if you don't know how to be by yourself, nobody else is going to know how to take care of you.
Yep.
That's what I literally followed a online checklist that I found when I got divorced. Because I haven't shared all my whole divorce story, obviously, on the podcast. It's weird, but I got divorced. I left my ex-husband in the middle of the day, unplanned. I had been planning on leaving.
Yeah.
But I was trying to set things up for myself and it didn't happen.
Yeah.
And then I was fired from my job the next day. So I was I had
point.
nothing and was I had my car because it was in my name. So that's all I really had at that point. And I was devastated and also not sure what to do with myself anymore. And I moved to Fayette County where I went to my senior year of high school and made one friend who moved off to college. So I didn't have any friends around. Everyone else that I knew was either starting families or off an hour away. And I'm not going to hang out with them. I'm trying to find a job. So I ended up finding a checklist online that was how to date yourself. And I literally followed it. It was go, first of all, find a hobby to start doing. So I started doing art again a lot. And then it was go out to eat at restaurants where you have to sit at a table and go by yourself. And I did, like, once a week. I would go to, like, Waffle House or Ruby Tuesday or something. I just went by myself. And I made so many friends. I made friends with a girl at Michael's, and she invited me to her church. And then we started hanging out and texting. I made friends with the Waffle House waitress. And then, like, she suggested I get a job at the, where did I get the job? I think it was the Home Depot job. But either way, like, I met people because when you're not in a crowd, like, if you're in a crowd all the time, people don't approach a crowd.
Yeah.
When you're by yourself, you know, people will approach you and talk to you and wonder what you're doing.
That would have been an interesting checklist to see when I was in that time. Because I did that a lot, too. It was like, I always tell people, I was like, I used to go to the movies by myself.
I did that a lot, too.
And I was so, like, I really like going to the movie theater. Like, it's just something I really genuinely enjoy because I'm very ADHD and it's the only time where I can actually sit and watch a movie without being on my phone. And yeah, I loved it. I would go and I would watch a movie and I'd get my big popcorn and my big soda. And then I would go and pick up Olive Garden on the way home. And I would take that home to my barracks room because I was still in the Army.
Yeah.
And I would like sit down with some Netflix all by myself and just chill out. And like, I like learned to be by myself.
Yeah.
After being in like, cause when I'm in a relationship, I'm like, we're up each other's asses kind of people. So yeah. So to be by myself and I was like, I have nobody up my butt. I don't feel the need to go bother somebody and give them attention / get attention from them. And I can do that for myself.
Yeah. And it's almost addicting. Just having this at that time. It's like, it's me. It's all about me. I can do what I want.
Yeah.
I love it. Yeah.
Yeah. And that was something I had never experienced up to that point, but it set me up in a really good place. Cause like, I've told some people this, like, I love Eric. He's the love of my life, my soulmate. But if something should ever happen where we were to break up, I know I would be okay.
Yeah, I know.
I
Definitely be able to function.
Yeah, I know I could like live by myself and be single if I had to.
That's why your relationship works so good.
Yeah.
Because like Ryan would not have been attractive to me if I didn't think he could handle life by himself. And it's something that helps you remember, like, and something that we talked about right when we first got together, which was kind of goes into the advice I was about to go into, so I'll segue into it with it. But like that. Something I had to remind myself a lot because I'm a woman and I like am really good at cleaning and I like learned it from my mom, like watching her, and like I'm pretty decent at cooking and like I have certain ways that I know things are supposed to be done. Like nagging your spouse all the time or your partner to do things the way you want them done or when you want them done only leads to fighting, and just reminding yourself that they functioned without you and never showed up late to a date and didn't stink and didn't have a nasty house. Like, you might suggest things get done your way, but like nagging them to do things the way you want them done or when you want them done doesn't work. And that, like, honestly, the best advice I can give as far as like running a household together and everything is just like leading by example. Like, a lot of the time, if I'm in the mood to like clean or exercise or start eating healthy or something, if I start doing it, Ryan's just like, that's my partner, I'm going to do it too. You know what I mean? And I do the same with him. If he's like, I'm relaxing tonight, I'm not doing this stuff or whatever. Like, we kind of follow each other's lead. Like, whoever's kind of like the strong voice that night of like, this needs to get done, without having to tell the other person, this is what we're doing. Yeah. You know what I mean? And like
none of that cleaning woman, we're relaxing and watching Netflix today.
Yeah. And it like sometimes gives you permission to relax and sometimes gives you that motivation. You need to be like, God, I need to be taking better care of myself, or I need to be doing this or that or whatever. Like, just, if I want the kitchen clean a lot of the time, and I don't expect him to get up and help. I know that if it's dirty next time, he's going to clean it because he watched me do it. Yeah. And you have to rely on you don't have a piece of partner for this method to work, obviously. Yeah. But like, if I want the kitchen clean, a lot of the time I will just get up and start cleaning. And he'll ask, do you want help? And I'll be like, I got it. Like, and it's not that I'm trying to like make him come help me. Yeah. But he always does. Because he's not going to let me just sit and do it myself.
It's guilt.
Do you want to say it, or do you want me to say it?
What, that you don't want me in the kitchen?
Well, you're in the way.
Yeah.
But also...
Sometimes.
Well, like, I'm like, if I'm doing my chore, I'm like, I got it. But, like, I'm... Like, I will delegate other things in the meantime. Yeah. Because if I don't give him something to do, he'll just stand on the other side of the island and, like, scroll on his phone.
And then,
so I'm like, well, since you're here,
so tell me if I'm just like this ridiculously stereotypical woman brain, or if this happens to you too. So I'm cleaning the kitchen. Ryan comes in, sees me cleaning the kitchen. He's trying to help, but he's not getting as much done and kind of in the way. Mm-hmm. I'm not trying to be rude or anything. I'm like, I got it, babe. Like, just leave me alone to do it. Seriously, I'm not mad. It's not that you're not doing, like, you're not being helpful or something. I love you. Thank you. I got this, though. I just kind of want to zone out and clean. Mm-hmm. And he goes and sits on the couch on his phone. Now I'm mad because I'm like, you could be doing something. And like, how come you get to just sit there while I'm cleaning? Even though I told him not to help me. But in my head, I'm still like, I'm not going to take it out on him. But
so I will say it's relatable.
Yeah.
Because I definitely get that. And I think that's why Eric stands on the other side of the island and like idles until I give him something to do.
I'm like, I'm sitting here doing dishes. You're just going to sit there on your phone, watch TikToks. Cool. I see how it is.
Yeah. I definitely like have been that person. And I'm like, why do I have to give you a list of chores? I'm not your mom.
Yes.
But also, he just doesn't always see the things that I do. Because I tidy throughout the day. Like, if I see empty bottles, like, I'll just grab them and go throw them all away at once. Mm-hmm. Like, while I'm walking through the house. And I'm an anxious cleaner. So I'll let something get bad to the point that, like, I lose my mind and then I deep clean it.
Me too.
But while I do that, I'll be like, hey, can you take out the trash? And then he'll take out the trash and be like, oh, hey, those boxes need to be broken down. Or, hey, the floor looks kind of messy. Would you mind vacuuming? Mm-hmm. I'll start picking up little things that he can do while I'm doing my chores. So he's both out of my way and also being productive.
It's like you're her child.
And so I'm a little bit of a dictator. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Well, you're not supposed to agree.
You're not. It's
true.
Not.
Okay, and it's healthy for.
So it works.
Wait. Yeah. You want to know something funny? Statistically, Tauruses are most likely to be dictators.
I don't doubt it. But it works because women naturally kind of take over the cleaning and caretaking role of their house. Yeah. Whether you believe in that or not, that's just kind of the truth. And it is with animals even. Like, it's just how it is.
Yeah.
And, like... You distracted me. Like,
sorry, that's where the noise comes from.
I am someone that kind of agrees that, like, if I'm doing most of the cleaning, and we've kind of like talked about this before, like if I'm the one doing most of the cleaning and I request that you do it a certain way, I feel like the respectful thing to do is to do it that way because I'm doing more of it. Mm-hmm. Whereas like the same thing goes with like, okay, for instance, Ryan always does the cat litter. That's like his chore that he always does. I never have to do it. Mm-hmm. Very grateful for that. I hate the litter that he uses. I don't like it. I want to switch to a different one. I hate it. He's tried to switch to different ones to appease me. He likes that one. It's easiest for him to work with. I don't bring it up anymore. And like I'm bringing it up now as an example, but I don't care like what he uses anymore. Like
because it's getting done.
I have to learn to let things go that like I can't be a dictator over everything because like he is doing probably 40% of the chores and I'm probably doing 60.
It's 50-50.
I don't think so. But you're also paying like 70% of the bills and I'm paying 30. So you know what I mean? Like it's not that it's unequal. It's just, you know, he's got a more stressful job than I do, but I also like clean the house up a lot more and like do all of the like family event planning and like keep up with the calendar and everything. So like we both play a 50-50 role in the relationship. Yeah. It's just that not every relationship task is split 50-50 and that's okay.
And so the reason I was going to say that it works for us is because she manic cleans, right? So that's what she was saying. Her anxiety cleans because when it gets to a certain level, that's when she's like, okay, this has to be done right now. Mm-hmm. My level for that is below hers.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to see the same things that she sees because for me, it's not ready yet. And I think that's why, because I don't think I thought of that until just now.
Sorry, you said below mine, and I was like, that doesn't make sense, because in my brain, I'm like, I guess your like threshold is higher.
Like you can deal with more.
Like the issue
it's
would
not
have
bad
to be,
enough yet.
Yeah, the issue would have to be worse for you to address it. Where I'm like, I get to the point where like I can't I'll ignore stuff for a really long time. Like I go blind to it. And then like once I notice it, it's in my brain. And like it's always dishes is like the worst thing because it has to be done so consistently. Yeah. But yeah, once the sink is full and I keep having to move the other sink to refill the dog bowl and there's stuff on the counters, like it always happens over the weekend when we're working because we're just cooking and throwing shit in there and doing whatever. But yeah, then I'll suddenly like look at it. I'm like, oh, hell no. Yeah. This all has to go now. And yeah,
mine is much. I guess that's higher or lower. I'm not sure how that works, but yeah,
you have a higher tolerance for mess.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah,
yeah. Well, also, I will absolutely say like where it comes to most of the house, I bring in more stuff. I do the majority of the shopping. Like most of his purchases are virtual.
Yeah.
So most of the physical things that come into the house and start to obstruct my view are because of me, and I've left them all over the place. Or I started to do something and then I got ADHD and I forgot about it and I went and did something else. So things accumulate.
Same. And then I get this like immense guilt that the mess is my fault.
Yeah.
And like, yeah.
Me
but
too.
A lot of the time it's like household stuff where like, yeah, I'm the one that brought home all these groceries. I'm the one that cooked dinner, but it's our food that I'm cooking for us. But I still feel this like it's all my fault that it's a mess, like guilt all the time.
Yeah, I'm like there's dishes everywhere. My lunchbox and my jacket are on the counter, and the island like has my big bag of craft stuff that I haven't even touched yet. There's all these towels that we bought that we haven't put away, and the same thing. As I'm like, this is my mess, and I need to clean this up, and this is all my fault, and I have to do it right now.
Yeah.
My other piece of advice was. And it's been controversial when I've brought it up before, not necessarily with this group, but...
With me?
No.
Oh, okay.
Just in general. Get the away from each other sometimes.
Yeah.
Like, just... It has to be mutually agreed upon, but there's, like, at least once a week, me and her are, like, in separate rooms doing whatever the we're doing alone on our computers, or I'm watching Trailer Park Boys and she's playing The Sims, or she's watching TikToks and I'm playing Half-Life,
or I go on a walk... And you cook dinner or something.
Yeah.
Whatever.
You know what's funny about that is when I met Eric, he wanted to always be in the same room.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I, like I said, was in that spot where I was like going out by myself and I was very used to being independent. And like, I'm okay being in a separate room doing something by myself.
Yeah.
In the same house, and he was not okay with that. So we ended up always like sitting actually at this table in his first house in Texas together doing different things as long as we were in the same room because he felt bad being in a different room. And then I started to get over that for a while, and like usually he was in here and I would be in the living room watching TV and on my phone and whatever, and now we're both in here all the time again.
Yeah.
But like we've learned to be okay with that, and like I'll usually go to my mom's once a week and stay for a few hours and hang out most of the day, and he'll be here sleeping or playing video games or whatever, and like we have our separate time.
Mm-hmm. And I mean, there's also the addition of we just don't see each other for 3 days out of the week.
Yeah, so y'all might be a little more attached when you're together because of that. But,
everybody at work knows that by Sunday, like, my energy is whacked.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, I need to see Eric.
Yeah.
And I feel bad because my emotional support friend at work has been gone for a couple of weeks. And so everybody else has had to deal with me. And I feel like I've had really weird mental health the last couple of weeks. So I'm like, I don't have my emotional support friend at work and I'm not seeing Eric. So I am like floating and I don't like it.
Yeah. I've been in a weird mental state the last few days too. I think Ryan can tell. Like, I feel like my anxiety's been kind of up compared to normal. And I think it's literally just like all the travel we've been doing. Like we had the wedding and then we traveled for the honeymoon. And then like 2 weeks later we took off and had to fly somewhere. And like as someone that's flown 3 times in her whole life, like that's a lot all at once. And then also like staying up late and stuff for stuff like this, which is worth it and fun. And I'm not complaining. Like I'm not complaining about any of it. I am very grateful for the fact that I got to go on 2 trips, and like see different parts of the country that I'd never seen, like all worth it. Everything is amazing, but it is taking a toll on me that we ate out the whole time and my stress levels on the airplane were through the roof. And like, I just think like the cortisol or whatever I'm producing is like taking over right now where I'm just like too much is happening and like sleeping in an unfamiliar place over and over and like worrying about my cats and like just everything. I'm like just very much ready for life to go back to normal.
Yeah.
And I can tell that it's starting to like bug me. And I think people at work can too. Cause like I've been like locked in my office, like leave me alone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're just trying to find that sense of stability again.
Yeah. And
especially when you have so much going on.
I've been having like anxiety symptoms again too, which suck. Like today my ear rang because I had an AirPod in it and I guess like it was suctioning on my ear a little too hard or something. Yeah. And like I had a panic attack over it. I was like, I'm having a stroke. It's happening.
That's an everyday occurrence for me.
Yeah, like
That's just the we touch the tinnitus.
That's just the tinnitus.
Well, and I've had my ear ring before. This one was a little weird. It was like a way more like high pitched. Like I couldn't get it to go away. But I think it was just some like vertigo kind of thing. Like some kind of inner ear thing. Because I also felt a little off. And just that feeling, I was like, definitely having a stroke. And I have to sit and convince myself, like, no, you're not. Like,
whenever I feel that, I'm like, oh, yeah, remember the part where you have an iron deficiency?
Yeah, which I do too. And, like, I never take into account that, like, that could be it, Grayson. So I need to start taking beef liver.
Yeah, somebody who majority
capsules.
eats chicken and notably has, like, less issues when they eat beef. Like, I totally notice it. And I'm like, oh, yeah.
You know, I've been like following a lot of like, I don't have any desire to do the carnivore diet, but I've been following a lot of like Instagram accounts and stuff that do it because there is something to be said about like beef and like grass-fed beef specifically and like getting the fattier kind, not the like lean. Super lean, whatever, but like getting real beef and eating it or beef liver. Like people seem to have some pretty insane results like hormonally and just in their whole diet and energy and everything. And I'm like, I've been trying, like we incorporate steak into our diet almost once a week now.
We had so much tuna last night for dinner.
Oh my God. Yeah. I made tuna steaks in the air fryer and I did Parmesan crusted tuna steaks. And I made my own honey sriracha sauce and like glazed them with it.
I'm going to have to start sending Eric to your house for dinner sometimes because I don't cook fish because I don't like fish, but he likes fish. I feel bad because he never gets it because of me.
I love fish.
And that's another thing I actually wondered about is because they're in single servings and they're like little 4-ounce tuna steaks, but they're kind of small. And I love fish.
Yeah.
And I eat a lot of tuna. Like probably more than I should. And then I ate 2 of those last night.
Yeah.
So I was starving and they were so good.
They're big too.
They're thick. And I'm almost wondering if maybe I like kind of didn't give myself mercury poisoning, obviously, but like maybe that could have caused the ear ringing or something because there was a lot of mercury all at once. So
no idea.
And I know that can do some funky stuff to your body. Yeah. So
hey, old man, do you have any more sage relationship advice?
Why am I old?
Because you're 32.
I have some actual old man relationship advice.
Actual old man.
Get them grippers.
Put those grippers away.
What?
Ryan has some. So when we were in Pennsylvania, his great uncle, who is amazing, by the way.
What is he? 94, 93?
He was 92.
92.
Yeah, he said 92. He was like, I mean, his wife's 90, right?
Yeah.
And then he's 92.
They've been married 47 years.
They were like leading the pack, walking these trails at Column Seal. Like he was dancing. They were drinking wine with us. Like they
threw down.
Yeah, like other than looking at them, you wouldn't know they were old. Like it's crazy. I was like, how are y'all in this good a shape? Like, what are y'all eating? Are you eating beef liver?
Right.
Yeah. So anyway, but you go ahead and share the relationship advice he gave you.
I was like, Uncle Bill, you've been married for 47 years. What's the secret? And he looks me dead in the face and he goes, well, this will be better on camera, but he says, don't say a word. Stay out of trouble. Stay out of trouble. Don't say a word.
What in the world?
And then every time he saw me and Ryan standing together, he'd hold up 4 fingers like that and be like, hi.
It was nice to see you.
Bye. Don't forget. And then Ryan told me about it, of course. Like,
that's goofy.
Because it didn't follow the advice and not say a word. He told me.
Oh, yeah. I should have looked at him. I was like, I'm going to speak up and say some I'm going to start a fight.
I loved them, though. It was so funny. Yeah. Your aunt, is it Nancy? Mm-hmm. Yeah, she is a trip. She was so funny. She was like, I know they're not going to listen to this podcast, so it's fine. But she was like, me and his sister Megan were drinking wine with her, which I found out I really like white wine.
Pinot Grigio.
Yeah, Pinot Grigio. And it was Pinot Grigio is what we had at the pizza place, though. It was something else that we had
I don't know.
at their house. I don't remember what it was, but it was like kind of a dry white wine. And I've never been a wine person, and wine always makes me feel like hot and annoying and like angry. And that one did not. I really liked it. So I want to try it again. But no, she like had a couple of glasses of wine with us. Like we were all pretty buzzed, including her, this 90-year-old woman. And I asked Megan, like, do you want me to get you another glass of wine? And she was like, oh, well, you guys get me one and say it's for you, because my husband's going to get real mad if he sees me drinking this. It was so funny.
She like looked over. I can't remember what she was talking about. She was telling a story or something. And she's like, I'm not drunk. And she goes, I'm drunk.
Yeah. Oh, man. Like, yeah, that was awesome. I loved getting to meet your family that I hadn't met yet. That was really cool.
Yeah.
You're lucky you've got like a really awesome family.
Yep.
Not
Very cool.
everyone does. I have an awesome family and you have an awesome family. We lucked out.
Yep. We both got some weird people in our family, but that's okay.
Yeah, I mean, I talked yesterday about how, like, I don't actually talk to the majority of my family. And so I just consider that I have, like, a 7-person family. Even
I
though
mean,
there's,
same.
like, a whole bunch more.
Yeah, I was talking to somebody about that at work. Like, my mom was one of 8. Like, I have a massive extended family, but I don't know any of them because I moved away before. Like, I moved away in 5th grade the first time, and I never went back except for a year, my freshman year. And that's it. So, like, I don't know any of my cousins. I know my aunts and uncles from whatever memories I had of them when I was a kid. But I don't know my cousins or their kids or anything like that. Because I could probably have 40 to 50 people from that part of my family alone.
Yeah, I mean, same. Like, my mom has so many uncles, and there's so many cousins and such that are related there. And, like, I don't know any of them.
No.
Also, side note, can y'all imagine squeezing out 8 babies?
No, thank you.
I
Squeezing out.
struggle to imagine giving birth once. Like, it's so scary sounding to me. And I want to, but like, but 8 times? No, thank you.
Yeah,
I would, yeah.
I mean, we already know this baby factory is never opening for business, so.
I want to have at least one.
Yeah.
I really want more than one, but I want to see how the first one goes.
Well, you know, it's funny, too, because you might end up finding that you freaking love it.
I know girls, like, for example, like, I know Felicia won't care if I mention this, but like, she genuinely enjoys being pregnant.
Yeah.
Like, she likes how it feels.
She would, like
surrogate,
like being a surrogate.
Yeah, which if she likes it a lot, maybe one day I'll be like, let me pay your medical bills. Right. I don't want to do this. But because she genuinely enjoys it, like something about it like really resonates with her. And like since we were younger, she's like thought about it and liked the idea of it and everything. Whereas like for me, I have been terrified about it my entire life.
Yeah. Actually,
like I have a phobia about it, and I'm gonna get through it and deal with it.
See, I have a phobia too, and I'm never having kids.
Yeah.
I actually had a friend in the military too who was Catholic, and he and his wife had 7 kids. And then his wife also was a person who really enjoyed being pregnant, and so she was also a surrogate when they were not having their own children.
Wow.
Yeah, she just really enjoyed being pregnant, and like what a godsend of a person, you know, for people who might have fertility issues.
Yeah.
What does that say about the human body that it can like go through that?
I mean, like think
7
about
kids, and in the middle of each one, you know what I mean? Like,
I mean, think about like 100 years ago. People were having families of like 13, 14 children.
To work the farms.
Regularly.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
To work the
And we're
farms or
healthy.
because their kids, like, you know, people were sicker and they didn't live as long back then. You know, unfortunately, there was a higher likelihood you might lose a couple during their childhood just because they didn't have like modern medicine. So,
yeah. Women's bodies are incredible. Like just the fact also the mental health aspect that goes into growing a up to 10-pound human in your gut and carrying it around with you all the time, pushing it out painfully, sometimes without medication, having a weird slimy little alien baby thrown on your belly. And then 2 years later or so being like, man, I really want to do that again.
you know
That's
what?
crazy.
I saw a great TikTok and I showed it to Eric, and it was talking about how we as people push this narrative of like, oh, being a mother is the most magical thing. And like, even if you're a little scared of motherhood, like it's all going to work out and you're going to love that child as soon as you see them. And that like that narrative isn't actually true a lot of the time.
Yeah.
That some people don't fully bond with their children. And a lot of people just shouldn't be parents, but we just like kind of force that narrative on them. And like, because that's what's accepted is you grow up and you get married and you have kids and then you retire and da 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 da. But like, that's not logical for a lot of people. A lot of people don't actually like thrive that way. They just think that's what they're supposed to do. And I felt so validated as somebody who doesn't want to have kids personally. I was like, thank God there's somebody out here speaking up for us who just like that it's a valid option to not have kids. It's okay. Some people were meant to be aunts and uncles. I was meant to be an aunt. I'm so happy to be an aunt. Like I don't mind babysitting. I like the kids in my family. I like spending time with them. As his mom made the joke that it's funny how for somebody who does not want kids, I'm actually fairly good with kids. I'm fairly good with kids. Like his niece, I spent hours with playing when we went to go visit, and she was obsessed with me.
And then we have a friend who comes over every Wednesday, and her daughter loves me.
Yeah.
Like,
and we adore her daughter.
Yes.
Like we like being
amazing.
around those kids, but also like I am not somebody who wants to dedicate 18 years of my life to another human being.
Nope.
Yeah.
I want to dedicate the rest of my life to Eric, but that's another adult and he can wipe his own butt.
Yeah.
And we have an agreement that when we can't wipe our own butts, please help us kill ourselves. Sorry, we can cut that out. But oh my God. Really, I'm like, that's my line. If I can't take care of myself, just bye. I see her.
I see both sides because I completely, just like the same way that I say like I'm feminist, but in the sense that like I still think that being a housewife's incredible and something that being if you want to strive for it, then you should. But like basically, just that women should just have their own idea of what they want to do and just do it. Yeah. And just be honest with everybody about it because like not everyone wants to be a parent. Especially, like, the world's crazy right now. Not everyone wants to bring a baby into that.
In this economy?
Yeah. Yeah. And then some people like me are like, I don't care. It's like how some people have, like, career goals. I want to be a mom. Yeah. So, like, and I'm going to make it happen one day. So, Yeah,
my mom was that person, too. She always wanted to be a mom. She worked in a preschool before she had me.
Me, too. I worked in preschools. I, have thought about adoption actually since I was like 10. Have been interested in doing that one day. So, we're getting some kitty ASMR.
Now I have this thing.
She's angry and drooling.
Not that angry.
Oh my gosh! I hope that you can hear it on the.
She's purring pretty good. I was hoping it would pick up the purring rather than her just headbutting the microphone.
Well, since we've gotten into a rant at this point, like we usually, me and Alicia end up ranting about something that has nothing to do with the podcast, as usual.
Boys, do you have any more advice?
Buy her cats.
Don't interrupt ranting.
That's a good one.
Let it go.
Yeah.
Tune out and stare at other stuff in the room.
I have one more piece of advice that's a little bit lewd, but have sex. And have it often and tell your partner exactly what you want.
Actually, to go with that, too, if you're in a relationship where one or both of you is mentally ill, when you have the urge, just do it. Just do it because if you put it off till later, somebody's not going to be horny anymore. Yeah. Just do it when you have the opportunity because sometimes it's really hard and you can't always control that and you don't want to harbor resentment. So when somebody's or not even hard because sometimes you have sapphic relationships or whatever, however your relationship works. When you're both horny and you want to do it, just do it. Don't put it off till later.
Yep. It can literally be 5 minutes and then it's over.
Yeah. Do it. Do it often. Do it well.
Yeah, and like anything else, communicate about it. If you communicate, it's so much better.
Yeah.
Tell your partner what you're into.
Yep.
Makes it better.
Go through your weird Reddit porn pages together and talk about your weird fetishes.
We've done that as a group.
Not the sex, just the Reddit part.
Just the Reddit, yeah.
There are no pineapples here.
No.
I had to explain
I could never.
I had to explain to people at work what that was.
I had to explain to my supervisor what it was.
Yeah, no, this was an OM this was like a manager on a different shift, and then the other supervisor that I work with, they were talking about the that specific group of people.
Swingers?
Yeah. I wasn't going to say it, but okay.
I'm
yeah.
saying it. Swingers.
The pineapple way of life.
Yeah, they were talking about swingers, and I was like, "Are y'all talking about upside down pineapples?" And they're like, "What are you talking about?" I was like, "That's like the sign for swingers."
Yeah, I was like, go to a campground, look for the pineapples.
and they're like, "How do you know that?" And I was like, "This is something I know." And then I sat there for a second.
I know why you know.
Shut up. I sat there for a second.
Oh, God.
I sat there for a second,
That's an after podcast conversation.
Yeah.
and then I was like, "Oh, I just actually said something that was like naturally me." And as a person and
Oh,
not
you weren't
work me.
masking?
Yeah, no, I wasn't masking. It was 100% me. And so I looked up again. I was like, I know that because I just know things. Like, I don't participate in this. I just know this.
I drink and I know things.
Yeah.
Well, I had to explain to my mom what it was because I don't remember exactly how it got brought up, but we were in like a Ross or something and she found a pineapple decoration and was like, "Oh, this would be cute in the camper." And I was like, "Mom, no."
Not in the camper.
Why not? And I explained to her, like, I was like, because you're not a swinger. And she was like, what? Like, and I told her, like, and apparently there's a lot of other symbols like pink flamingos in the front yard. Pampas grass as a decoration is one, apparently. But yeah, so I didn't know. But anyway, I told her, and my mom's next move was buying a bunch of pineapple stuff on purpose to put outside the camper
For fun.
to see if any weirdos would come talk to her, is what she said.
That's amazing.
Yeah, so that's pretty hilarious.
So she's here for the drama.
Yes, she's always here for the drama.
Your mom is hilarious.
I know.
Awesome.
She's a troll in real life.
I
That was
was
amazing.
cracking up telling my parents after we went to Helen. I was like, they have a Bigfoot statue they take, and she bought it a hat.
Yeah.
I was like, I thought that was so funny because my dad's obsessed with Bigfoot. And
Yeah.
you know, the week after they decided to go up to Helen.
Really?
Yeah, just
I
to
wish
drive
they would have
around.
gone when
And
we
I'm
were
like,
up there.
you guys are so, like, they wouldn't have participated. They hate that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
They're the kind of people who, like, legitimately just want to sit in their campsite and, like, do nothing.
I like to have a day of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then go have fun.
Yes. Party hardy.
Roll for Funny is available on Spotify uncensored, YouTube censored.
Sometimes.
Sometimes.
Follow us on Instagram. Follow us on TikTok.
Follow us on Twitter. Check out my TikTok at hey_foxy_lady and Graysons Twitch at
twitch.tv/glumgoggles with a Z.
I'm on Orion on everything.
and Eric doesn't participate in social media for the most
Nope.
part.
Not yet.
Just come enjoy Eric's voice on here.
All right.
What did that coworker of yours used to call you, Barry Manilow?
Oh, yeah.
Because you got a deep voice.
Yeah.
Just
I
call
did
him Barry.
I had a coworker who, the very first time she ever met me, she said, "You sound like Barry Manilow," and then would never call me by my first name. Only called me Barry.
Nice.
So
Yeah.
that was funny.
Well, that's cool.
Yeah,
well, another successful podcast on the books, guys.
Yeah.
Thanks, everyone, for joining. Have a wonderful time. Okay, bye.